I promise this is the last one, okay? I'm promising you that this is the last time that I'm going to redo my Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mans Elixir Mega Clone Fragrance Battle. I did this a few months ago where I showed you a total of 5 clones of Le Mans Elixir in that episode of Mega Fragrance Battle. But since that time I added 3 more really good clones of Le Mans Elixir. So I'm going to redo the Mega Clone Fragrance Battle for the best Le Mans Elixir clone one last time. Now, the latest Le Mans Elixir clone that I reviewed on my channel was this one, Rasasi Hawas Elixir. I did this review a few days ago, and in that review I told you, in that video, I told you that I'm really not interested into picking up any more Le Mans Elixir clones. I think 8 is more than enough in my opinion. And that's going to be the case unless something really nice comes out and gets really hyped up. That may be the only sort of a reason for me to actually buy another Le Mans Elixir clone. But since I'm done buying Le Mans Elixir clones, and since, as I said, I've added a few more after I did my last clone battle, Le Mans Elixir Mega Clone Battle, I'm going to redo this video with all 8 clones that I currently own, you know, in my collection. So let's go and check what, in my opinion, is the best one, what in my opinion is the best performing one, and at the end of the video I'm also going to rank them based on my personal preferences. So first of all, I'm going to separate the clones, the fragrances featured in today's video in a few different categories. On one hand, I'm going to leave on my right side the straight up clones of Le Mans Elixir, the fragrances that really feel the closest to the original fragrance, that feel like really straight up clones, and those will be these 4: Urban Man Elixir from Fragrance World, Club de Nuit Lionheart from Armaf, Rasasi Hawas Elixir, and Rayhaan Elixir. Then on my left side I'm going to leave fragrances that feel more like inspirations, more like twists, and in fact I'm going to divide that category into 2 subcategories, and those will be the 2 that have sort of a fresh twist and the other 2 that have quite a heavy twist, and in both cases actually this is a fruity twist. So that's how I'm going to show you these fragrances. This will be the order. I'm going to start with the 2 that feel the furthest away compared to the original fragrance, and those are Virilis from the brand of Paris Corner and Habib from the brand of Arabiat Prestige. Now, Virilis from Paris Corner, this smells pretty similar to Le Mans Elixir, but this has a pretty heavy sort of a fruity twist. I think there's a pineapple note that has been used in this one. This also feels a little bit boozy, and this is not a bad fragrance on its own. It's just that to my nose this feels the furthest away out of all 8 clones of Le Mans Elixir that I have. It has good quality though and pretty decent performance, especially when it comes to projection. This one projects quite nicely, quite strongly, especially initially after you spray it. Habib from Arabiat Prestige also has a bit of a fruity twist, although this one feels a little bit softer, not as sharp, maybe not as fruity as Virilis, and in that way it smells a little bit closer to Le Mans Elixir, but this still feels more like a fruity twist, more like a fruity inspiration of the original fragrance. Really nice quality with this one, just like anything else from the brand of Arabiat Prestige. But the problem here is the performance, and not so much total longevity on skin, which is pretty good, but where this lacks, in my opinion, along with the fact that it feels like a twist, and it is a twist, not a straight up clone, is the projection. This projects more on the softer side, and although this has definitely improved a little bit since I reviewed it like a month or 2 ago, this still feels one of the lesser performing fragrances that I'm featuring today. Moving on to the 2 fragrances, 2 inspirations that feel closer to the original fragrance but still have quite a bit of a sort of a fresh twist on them. And those are Lattafa the Kingdom and Le Fate Blue Intoxicate, or what was the name? Intoxicate Blue Elixir from the brand of Le Fate. You can think this one of being a Hadlash fragrance. Le Fate is a sub-brand of Hadlash. Now, Lattafa the Kingdom was actually the first major clone that came out on the markets. I think it was at the end of the summer last year, so it's been around for quite a while, almost like a year. And initially when this one was launched, it was along with Rayhaan Elixir. I think those were the 2 very first clones. This felt like you know, the clone to have at that point in time. It felt very similar to the original fragrance, but definitely having a more aromatic and slightly fresher twist compared to Le Mans Elixir itself, lacking a bit of the thickness of the sweet notes, lacking a bit of the strength of the tobacco. And to this day, this remains a very good option, but now we have fragrances that smell closer to the original fragrance, and that's why I'm sort of putting it into this category of fragrances that just have a little bit of fresher twist. Performance on its own is good, projection is good, this nowadays can be found for a very reasonable price, and it remains a really nice option. The other one, the other fresh twist, came later than Lattaff of the Kingdom, and it's Intoxicate Blue Elixir from Lefate. This one may be feeling a little bit more aromatic, maybe not fresher than Lattaff of the Kingdom, but definitely feels a little bit more aromatic to my nose, like having a stronger lavender note. Keep in mind that you know, the differences, especially when it comes to these six, are very slim at best, but still you know, just to sort of categorize them, I'm going to give you some small differences. This one is probably the most aromatic feeling clone of Le Mans Elixir. Quality is really nice with this one. Actually, this was quite an impressive release from the brand of Lefate, and also offers quite strong performance. In my opinion, this outperforms the Lattaff both when it comes to projection and when it comes to total longevity, and this is a very valid choice to this day if you're looking for a Le Mans Elixir clone. And now let's move on to the ones that in my opinion feel like straight up clones. Again, I'm going to go in an order that I feel they smell close to the original fragrance, starting with the one that feels the furthest away, and it's going to be a Rayhaan Elixir. This was probably launched even before the Lattaff one, and this was probably the very first major Middle Eastern clone of Le Mans Elixir that came to the markets, and to this day this remains a very nice option in my opinion. I really like this one, but this one needed a bit of time, a bit of maceration or maturation or steeping or whatever you want to call it. Simply needed quite a few months before I think it reached its full potential. Now this smells closer to the original fragrance than it once did when I did my initial review on this one. When I first got it, it felt a little bit more earthy, a little bit more spicy than the original fragrance, and although this still feels again the furthest away out of all four, definitely this nowadays smells better. Some of that spiciness has gone away, and this actually nowadays feels a little bit closer to the original fragrance. You'll get the tobacco, you'll get the vanillic and honey sweetness. Maybe this one lacks a little bit of that aromatic properties of the original fragrance, you know, the lavender and a bit of that mint. But still, it's a good fragrance. And another thing that improved with time is the performance, although still this is not nearly the best performing fragrance, not nearly the best performing fragrance. The next one, how close it feels to my nose, will be Urban Man Elixir from Fragrance World. This one in the air smells very similar to Le Mans Elixir, but up close I personally pick up a bit of a difference, and that's down to the fact that this relies more on that vanillic sweetness rather than the honey sweetness that you'll find in the original fragrance. This is like a slightly more vanillic take, but definitely smells very nice in the air, very similar to the original one, and you'll pick up those differences up close. Performance wise, this is a good performing scent, in fact one of the better performing fragrances featured in today's video, and also feels of really nice quality, and price wise this can be found for quite an affordable price tag. And the other two that are left, you know, Hawas Elixir, Rasasi Hawas Elixir, and Club de Nuit Lionheart from Armaf. In my opinion, those are the two best clones of Le Mans Elixir that you can get, meaning the two that smell the closest to the original fragrance. Now again, both of them have a very tiny little twist. In the case of Club de Nuit Lionheart, this to my nose feels a little bit less sweet than the original fragrance maybe, and slightly darker, slightly more spicy version of the original one, whereas Hawas Elixir actually lacks just a hint of that sweetness. I think the guys from Rasasi have replaced the honey note with a dark chocolate note, which doesn't change the scent that much as you might imagine hearing this. In the air, this smells super close to Le Mans Elixir, but it's an interesting sort of a twist. But in my opinion, both are actually the two clones that I've tried of Le Mans Elixir that feels closest to the original fragrance. Also, both of them are actually the two best performing clones of Le Mans Elixir that I have right now. So that's about the more scientific approach. If I have to rank the fragrances based on how close they feel to the original fragrance, it will be something like this. Probably this is the closest one, Rayhaan Elixir. Then we have Club de Nuit, Lionheart, both feel almost identically close to the original fragrance. Then it will be like this, then it will be like this, and then like this. This will be the ranking when it comes to how close they feel to the original fragrance. When it comes to performance, the ranking is actually pretty similar, but I'll have to put Le Fate here in a joint sort of a third place behind Le Mans Elixir, behind Rasasi Hawas Elixir and Club de Nuit Lionheart. Both of them are giving me roughly the same performance, which means that they are very, very strong. So those are the two best performing clones that I have. Then it's Urban Man Elixir and Le Fate Intoxicate Blue Elixir. Again, they're pretty similar to each other. Then I'll probably do it like this and like this. These two, again, very similar to each other performance wise, although Virilis is the better performing, the better projecting fragrance out of better than Lattafa the Kingdom, and this it will be these two. And then I'm going to give you one final ranking. That will be my personal ranking. This is going to be a little bit tougher, but still it will go something like this. My favorite clone to this day remains Club de Nuit Lionheart, with Rasasi Hawas Elixir coming in second, then Fragrance World Urban Man Elixir and Le Fate Intoxicate Blue Elixir coming at a joint third position. Then it will be probably something like this, Rayhaan Elixir along with Arabiat Prestige Habib, then Lattafa the Kingdom, and then Virilis. But at the end, I just want to give you sort of an advice. If you already own any of the clones, maybe apart from this one, Virilis, which just feels the furthest away. Let's say if you already own Rayhaan Elixir, you don't really need to get a bottle, any other bottle that I'm featuring in today's video. Don't feel pressured to buy the best clone of Le Mans Elixir or any other fragrance. If you already have a good clone and you are enjoying it, you don't really need to chase a bottle, any other bottle, unless you are a collector like me. Maybe you're doing some sort of content, you're a content creator, again you can chase additional bottles. Or if you really, really like the scent profile, if you enjoy it and you want to have more clones of Le Mans Elixir in your collection, and you want to collect those things, then again you can buy any of the other fragrances. But again, if you already own especially any of those 5 here or those 6 here, any of them will be good enough would be sufficient enough to satisfy your needs, and you don't really need to buy any additional bottles. So guys, in today's updated episode of a mega fragrance battle for the last time, again I promise this will be the last update on this fragrance battle, I try to quickly show you, compare, and sort of give you an overall look of all the 8 clones of Le Mans Elixir that I have in my collection, helping you choose the best clone for you. I hope that you found today's video helpful or useful. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.